afternoon, and welcome to BBC Two.
Hello and welcome to Back to the 80s, the podcast that travels back through time in a rose-tinted DeLorean. It's Friday. It's time to have a bit of a discussion about something. Probably 80s related, let's face it. You have come looking for that kind of thing. After all, it'd be a bit rubbish if we started talking about, I don't know, immigration policy of America in the 1890s. It's not that. We're talking about the 80s and something very specific from the 80s, which we'll go into in a little bit. We have only one regular member of the team available here today because Paul is off helping Mr. David Tree, friend of the podcast, with one of his multitude of endeavours that he has. I think it's the Comic-Con in Southampton, I think it is.
West Key.
That's the one, West Key, yes. I've been there quite a few times. Nice place, West Key. So she's helping with that this week. Becca will be telling us exactly what she's been up to the last few weeks at some point, I am certain. So we do have, as you have just heard, superstar artist and all-round good guy, Mr. Sam Palmer.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Just I've had a tiring week, so sleep could be nice, but thought we'd do this quick. Then we'll have some sleep.
Yeah.
Prepare for the weekend's activities.
Oh, there's activities, are there?
Well, yeah.
I'm working.
I'm going to a wedding.
I'd rather be working.
It's one of my best friends from school, so it's
fair enough.
It's going to be pretty cool. I bought a new suit and everything, so I'm excited about that.
Oh, it's serious then.
But I don't actually own a suit. I have a jacket and I have trousers, but not like a proper suit. So I now have a suit.
I've got a tux.
I don't own a tux.
I've got a tux. I don't have a suit. I don't know where I get a suit from, frankly.
Oh. I actually got mine in Primark.
That's probably a good place to get a suit.
Asda, yeah. My jacket that is just like I've worn for funerals and stuff, I got in Matalan, so
fair enough.
Plenty of places to get stuff from.
There we go, boys and girls. If you want a suit of any description, probably best to get your ass down to Primark and Asda.
Yep.
And just by me saying Primark means I've lived in Wales far too long.
Primark.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, awful.
Wow. Really, Pakistanis were they?
Primark.
Bloody Primark is what it is. Anywho, what you been up to for the last couple of weeks or the last week or so?
Well, this week it's been kind of a quiet one. Obviously, I got paid today, so it's been a week of not a lot of money and stuff. I also had last week off work as well, so I was chilling, doing stuff for that. I did a video, which came out,
did,
which is thematically tied with today's episode, actually, kind of. I did a video about Alien games, where I looked at 4 games, and it took like 2 weeks to make, and I'm really proud of it. And it was fun to do. I got to play on my green screen and stuff, and yes, so you should check that out if you're listening, because why not? Kills 15 minutes, you know. Other than that, again, it's related to the episode. Because it was Alien Day on Wednesday, at our local cinema, they had a screening of Prometheus, followed by a screening of Alien, like the first Alien film. So it was like a double bill type thing. And then kind of between them, they showed a trailer for the new one, and they ended up showing like 15 minutes of footage, like 2 whole scenes from Alien Covenant, which is out on the 12th of May. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, it was just a really kind of fun night, but it went on quite late. I think we didn't get home till nearly 1.
Wow.
And then the very next day, I had to go to Leicester for a training course. So I couldn't really have like a lie-in, or if I didn't have a training course, I would have been at work anyway. But at least I probably would have had slightly longer in bed. But yeah, so went on this training course with about 5 hours sleep. But I'm now a certified first aider. So.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so that was a thing. Back to work today.
Every 5 years that needs updating, is it?
3 years done.
3 years.
It's the 1 day first aid at work course. It's not like a hardcore first aider kind of thing. It's just first aid at work. But it's fun to know, so it's pretty cool. And actually, that's really been about it.
Wow.
Going to a wedding this weekend. Yeah, it's been a quiet one. I've not really bought much because of not really having money. I picked a few games up off eBay. Well, there's one I can see from here, which is a game called Gregory Horror Show, which is a very weird game based on a Japanese cartoon from a few years ago.
Yeah,
it's basically set in a guest house, but this guest house is basically purgatory.
Right.
And you play this little kid who died, and you basically have to go around and like help people to move on, kind of thing. It's quite a dark game, but all the characters are like cubes and weird shapes and things.
Kind of like a cross between Life on Mars and Hotel California.
Yeah, with a bit of Animal Crossing mixed in.
Yeah.
But it's like
literally.
Literally. There's like the different characters in it you kind of have to interact with, and to kind of do things for them so they can, like, their souls can move on. But everyone's got like a set routine they follow. So you have to, like, depending on who it is, you've got to like learn what their routine is and be able to catch them at certain points to be able to do certain things for them. And it's quite complicated the way it works. And then the whole time you're being stalked by this evil nurse who will drug you and send you back to your own room, sort of thing, in the guest house. So it's very weird, but I remember having it years ago, and it was really fun, but really hard. But I'm looking forward to kind of getting back into it.
Sounds like it's challenging.
It's a very unusual one, but yeah, pretty good. I don't think there's really been much else I've been up to. It's been a quiet one. What about you?
Fair enough. I was ill all last week and all this week. Somebody in the office gave me a stinking cold, like the worst cold. Like, I couldn't have podcasted last week at all. I really wanted to, but I was just coughing so much. It was like every other breath was a cough. And it knackers you. Yeah,
it really does. Like, your chest gets tight and everything as well, and you just feel worse because of that.
Yeah, so last week was just cough, cough, cough. This week I've just been congested to hell. My nose has been really sore inside. But it's like, oh, that's new and unpleasant. So it's the worst 2 weeks in a while for health. Just fuck right off. I hate having a cold. And I have to go to work as well. I can't not go to work because I can't afford to be off, basically. It's that kind of situation where you just can't afford to take time off. So yeah, ill. What else have I been up to? I've been watching loads of G.I. Joe, which has been fun, because it's nice to catch up with a cartoon you've not seen in a while. It's been like 6 years since I've seen the cartoon. And I've been listening to Knowing Is Half the Podcast, which is really fun. Even if you're not a fan of G.I. Joe, it's fun, because it's one guy who knows a lot about G.I. Joe and two people who don't know anything about G.I. Joe, just watching every episode of the cartoon. Every week. It's really good.
That sounds pretty cool, actually.
They have guests on like Flint Dilley. They've had Buzz Dixon on, who I love, and Bill Ratner, the guy who does Flint's voice. So it's really cool, especially when Buzz Dixon or Flint Dilley get going, because they've got loads of stories, and it's great. And I love hearing stories about like Hollywood in the 80s, or the animation in the 80s and what they did. There's like Flint Dilley just talking about all the toys that Hasbro used to send them at Sunbow.
That's just cool.
Because he was mates with Gary Gygax at the time. They got a lot of D&D guys coming over, and they'd make on the grass outside Sunbow Studios. They'd set up Transformers and Joes against Decepticons and Cobra, and then you get all the D&D guys with their rulers out saying, "Well, this is the hit distance for this. For Megatron would have a hit ratio of 65 or whatever." It's like they're doing all these, like, they're gaming Transformers and Joes, grown men in the 80s, and it's like, this is awesome. So yeah, loads of little stories like that. So yeah, if you've not listened to Knowing It After podcast, I definitely recommend that you do. Shout out to the guys at Smorgas Pod as well, Andy and Aaron, who I do listen to that podcast a lot because they're mates of mine. And we might be having a bit of a crossover with them at the moment because they are now set up for Skype calling. So one time we should get them on, do a bit of cross promotion.
Yeah, sounds good.
Because they are massive geeks. I should know, I grew up with Andy, so there you go. What else have I been doing? Got a fidget cube.
Yeah, I keep looking at those, and I think they'd probably benefit me quite well.
I've not got a proper one, because they're quite expensive, but I got one of the knockoffy ones, because there's loads of them. They flooded the market. Because the original proper one's about $35. I got mine for about £4. So, yeah, sorry, lads, I'm not going to spend 35 quid on something I can get for £4. So, yeah, it's quite good, actually. It's not as good as the original. It's not as well made, but it does the job it needs to do. And, because I'll be sat at the computer, and because I'm an ex-smoker, I need something to do with my hands. And usually I'm chewing on a pen, or I've got a toothbrush that I chew on. It's really bad. It's because I can't smoke anymore, basically. But yeah, fidget cube. I'm trying it out as we speak, and it seems to be doing the job. It seems to be okay. So I can recommend the one I got, certainly.
Well, if I'm ever at work and if I'm in a meeting or something, or I've got a bit of I'm reading through paperwork or whatever, I'm constantly just playing with stuff.
Yeah,
like we buy the cheap pens and stuff in. We can unscrew the ends and stuff, like just the cheap biros. And I'm constantly just unscrewing and rescrewing them. Just for something to do. So I've never smoked. I like to fidget.
Yeah, same here. Exactly that. So it's good. I can definitely recommend. You might hear me clicking on it occasionally, so I do apologise. But it's definitely worth it. What else have I been up to? Watching a lot of old game shows on YouTube. There's a lot of old game shows on YouTube now. So I've been watching Wheel of Fortune from 1993, which is cool. And also quite good research for this show. Let's face it. I have been watching. We'll talk about the wrestling very quickly. Also, last weekend can fuck off. It didn't happen. Especially last Saturday afternoon can fuck off. I ended up not enjoying Doctor Who at all last week, which is a shame because it was good. I did go back and rewatch it, but at the time, enjoy it very much, and I've got a feeling I'm probably not going to enjoy this weekend either.
I don't know. I think it might be a better weekend.
I hope so. We'll find out. It's Sunday, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I won't be around anyway because I'll be in Cardiff at Doctor Who. Ironically enough,
I'm at a wedding. So.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll both be. It's probably for the best, isn't it?
Well, ironically, the groom is a massive Spurs fan as well. So.
Oh, there you go. Tell you who is a massive Spurs fan that I found out this week.
Who's that?
And his name is John Cena.
He's an everything fan, though. To be fair.
Oh yeah, but he's apparently his team is Tottenham Hotspur.
Nice. In that case, he's fine. It's also Finn Balor's favourite team.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, that's originally what he wanted to be. Wanted to play for Spurs, and then he got into wrestling, and that was the end of that. Matt Wahlberg as well. That's Spurs fan.
He's apparently been he went for a tour or something when he was doing a film. They invited him around the White Hart Lane as a tour, and now he's really good. Yeah, it was. Yeah, actually, and now he's really good friends with Dele Alli, and he's got they text each other and stuff, which is really weird.
Odd for Dele Alli, that must be.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's still at Spurs next season. That's all I'm saying.
I think after the season we've had, even if we don't win the league, coming second in the Premier League is not
one
really
more season.
Yeah, I think one more season, and the fact that we're solid second best team in the Premier League, guaranteed Champions League football. The only thing they'd leave for is more money, possibly.
Yeah.
It's not really going to get better opportunities elsewhere, because if they go to Barcelona or Real Madrid, they're still going to be playing the same.
True.
The same international. Because everyone wants Champions League football now anyway, so everyone wants the same things.
Yeah, and the Poch has already apparently turned down Argentina last year.
Yep.
Because he wants to win something at Spurs, is what it is.
A lot of players have pledged themselves to Pochettino as well, so they ain't going to go anywhere. Yeah, like Lloris has said, he's not going to go anywhere.
No,
as
Eriksen.
long as Eriksen as well. As long as I guess I don't want Kane to go anywhere. I think Ali would be the only one that may leave, but I kind of don't want him to.
I don't see if there's anything in it for him at the moment to leave.
Yeah.
Because he's getting first team football all the time.
Yeah, and apparently he's getting a new contract made up to put him on par with Harry Kane and Lloris's wages anyway. They're the highest paid players at Spurs, so
yeah.
I think they want their act. It's like Daniel Levy's actively trying to keep players. What is this madness?
We might have a chance to win something. That's why.
Very true.
It's only because we had a bit of a shitty start to the season that we're not first. But other than that, we've done brilliantly, and here's hoping we fucking thrash Arsenal, because I'm not being funny. I hate Arsenal.
I hate Arsenal.
And it is funny to see. I hope they keep Wenger until at least 2020. I hope they win the FA Cup, and I hope that that guarantees him a brand new contract.
I kind of want Chelsea to smash them.
I
absolutely
do
just obliterate them, like 8-0.
Oh, absolutely.
Embarrass them, and then Wenger will be sacked.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the only reason they beat us is because they had 5 chances. They took 4 of them, and we didn't take the chances that we had.
Yeah.
Also, because they played Son out of position. I think had he played in a better position from the start, then... Because let's face it, the first 2 goals they scored were from dead balls. So, I know Willian was pissed off. He wasn't very happy at all that he was taken off, and I would be as well. He was playing quite well.
Yeah.
And then they take him off because that scumbag Costa.
Oh, I hate Costa as well.
I don't think anybody likes him.
No, I don't think Chelsea fans like Costa.
No, it's same as John Terry. No one likes John Terry that he plays with. The fans love him, but Conte hates him, clearly. And none of the players seem to want to play with him particularly. But anyway, the other thing, moving on swiftly, that I have been doing this week is watching a lot of old WWE. Because I have been watching the new stuff, and there's some interesting stuff happening now, which is cool. But I watched a lot of the old stuff, mainly because I wanted to see Sergeant Slaughter's old matches. Because of watching G.I. Joe, I've been watching a bit of Sergeant Slaughter as well, and remembering just how much I liked Slaughter in the WWE, and what a stand-up guy he seems to be. So I've been watching a lot of his old matches, and yeah. Also, he had that bit with Rusev as well, where he tried to make him do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then they're like, "Where's Rusev? I know he's injured, but he needs to be back."
Yeah, he's
really like.
There's something going on with him. I think he's annoyed about his place on the card or whatever. At the minute. He's having some kind of thing.
He should totally be higher. That's there's no, and Lana is getting more of a push than he is.
Yeah, because they split him up as well because they put him on separate brands.
Yeah, Jinder fucking Mahal's getting better than he is. Christ's sakes, that's not Jinder Mahal.
I don't like Jinder Mahal.
No one likes Jinder Mahal.
Don't hinder Jinder.
But anyway, I've been watching a lot of old stuff, so a lot of legend stuff as well. So like the Iron Sheik matches and things like that. I love the Iron Sheik. He's so good. Pack and bullshit. Get that guy a beer and just watch him go. So yeah, the Iron Sheik, he's pretty awesome. We do love him a lot. But yeah, I mean, like I say, watching a load of the old WWE stuff and just marvelling at how slow it is.
Oh God, yeah.
But it was of its time. It's fine. I sort of have reminisced about the fact that even back then I just didn't like Hulk Hogan. I just never got on with him at all.
Yeah, I was never a big Hogan fan. I always preferred like the wrestlers, like Bret Hart and Ricky Steamboat and
Randy Savage.
Randy Savage, yeah, I used to love Randy Savage. He's also a warrior as well. Weirdly, saying that I used to like the actual wrestlers, but I suppose he's quite exciting for a small child.
Yeah, I mean, everybody liked the Ultimate Warrior because of what he represented. He was just this force of nature that everyone liked. But yeah, I mean, it's when you go back and realise just how meticulous Randy Savage was about his matches, and like nobody else was back then. It was just like it was him that brought that into the WWE. Same as Slaughter, he was very similar. And the fact that I was going back into Sergeant Slaughter's, or Robert Remus, should we say, his history is like sort of that dude served in Nam.
Yeah.
It's like he was a legitimate badass, proper drill sergeant. It wasn't just a gimmick he picked up. He actually was a drill sergeant in Nam. It's like, he was a badass. And he's still there. That's the thing I like about it. He still appears like sort of briefly on things. And
I think he's a road agent, so he kind of works.
He used to be. He's not anymore.
Oh, is he not still there?
No, he's pretty much retired now. But he does a lot of conventions and stuff like that, so it'd be awesome if he ever came to the UK. I'd love to see him. Just have him call me a puke.
You puke.
Listen here, you puke.
It's a very British version. Alright, you puke. Get over here.
Thank you. That's Danny Dyer. That'd be Ray Winston. Try saying that when you're 5 times drunk. Yeah, other than that, not been doing much really. It's been a bit quiet this week, but there you go. Can't be interesting every week. Next week, like I say, Sunday, I'm going to see Doctor Who for the last time. So I'm going to go down to Cardiff and have a look at the TARDIS tour again. Do that. So go around the set. Not touch anything. Honest.
Not steal things. Definitely not.
To be fair, there's nothing to steal apart from the lanyards, which we did last time. And we'll probably do this time. What they're going to do? I'm not going to be using them anymore anyway. So yeah, that should be cool, and then sort of hang around Cardiff all day after that because there's loads of stuff to do in Cardiff. And then I think bank holiday, just sort of chill out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chill out on bank holiday months. But yeah, there you go. Let's go for a quick break then, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about some Xenomorphy action. So, because we're talking about the aforementioned Xenomorphs, let's have some adverts relevant to the cause. So it's some Kenner adverts from around the sort of the 1990-92 era, when the aliens went all extreme, and they brought out a line of figures which was supposed to have a cartoon, but didn't. More on that in a couple of minutes' time. Enjoy the ads.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will return after these messages.
Kenner presents new alien action figure.
Phoenix Flow! Quick, shut the airlock! The alien's locked out now! He got through! Give up! Alien can't be beat! We'll zap him with the light! Storm, he'll destroy the spaceship! We've lost! Better find another ship! Let's try the kitchen! Another triumph for Alien!
Alien action figure, new from Kenner.
Aliens! Yo, Hicks! Something big is in the air! It's the alien flying queen! And her gruesome gorillas! Send in the ultimate space marine, Atax, disguised in his big, bad bug suit!
He sneaks in and takes him out!
But the flying queen unmasked him! Send in Hicks and the heavily armored evac fighter!
Send in the Marines!
Blast them!
Yeah!
And bottle them! And it's bye-bye bug, each sold separately! Aliens! Aliens! Yo, Hicks! Something big is in the air! It's the alien flying queen! And her gruesome gorillas! Send in the ultimate space marine, Atax, disguised in his big, bad bug suit!
He sneaks in and takes him out!
But the flying queen unmasks him! Send in Hicks and the heavily armored evac fighter!
Send in the Marines!
Blast them!
Yeah!
And bottle them! And it's bye-bye bug, each sold separately! Aliens! Send in the Marines! Ripley's got the power loader!
How's that grab you?
All the firepower a Marine could ask for! When things get buggy, sting them with the stinger!
Rock 'em and rub 'em!
Ugly aliens getting you down?
Send in the Marines!
Aliens! Aliens! They're unstoppable! But we've got to give it our best shot! Send in the Marines! We're the Space Marines! Drake, Ripley, Apone, Bishop, and I'm Hicks, armed with the latest high-tech heavy metal. Queen alien breathing down your back? I blast her with the bug rocker. Button heads with a bull alien? Ripley frags him with the turbo torch. Alien invasion problem?
Send in the Marines!
Aliens! Space Marine figures and alien figures, each sold separately.
The dreaded beast versus the savage hunter. Aliens versus Predator with awesome new Predators. Clan leader attacks with whipping dreadlocks. And Stalker, glowing in the dark, fires his spears. Suddenly, lifting up his attack spikes, the wild boar alien charges. And the ferocious mother alien in her monstrous hive traps Spiketail, then covers him in ooze.
Ooze 'em!
Who will survive? Aliens versus Predator. Queen Hive playset comes with mother alien figure and ooze. Other figures sold separately.
We now return to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And we are back. Hope you enjoyed the ads. And let's start talking about something very dear to Sam's heart. Not so dear to mine, oddly enough, but quite dear to Sam's heart. Sam, what are we talking about?
We're going to be talking about the Alien franchise. Now, as it is an 80s podcast, our remit does cover like 70s to 90s. We can get at least 3 of the movies, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so first Alien was 79, Aliens, Alien 2 was 1986,
yep.
And then Alien 3 was 1992, so they're sort of within the remit of what we talk about. And obviously, being it's the franchise that was started in the 70s, we get to talk about all of it anyway. So, who cares? Screw you. Forgot whatever we want. Cool.
So obviously... I thought you were starting. So obviously, Alien 1979 when it started.
Yes.
Whose idea was that there, Sam?
It was actually a story from Dark Star writer Dan O'Bannon. Dan O'Bannon, bit of a dick apparently, which is why he doesn't really have anything to do with Alien anymore.
No, apparently not a very nice man to work with.
No, but yeah, he kind of developed the basic premise and the story, which is kind of the whole theme of like an alien hunting crew through a ship. They wanted to create like a science fiction action movie, but it basically sort of morphed into a kind of more of a horror movie once that Ridley Scott got involved.
It's almost like a slasher.
Yeah, it's very sort of atmospheric and creepy. Yeah, it's more so like there seems to be a constant threat rather than it just being like jump scares and safety and jump scares and safety. There's always that kind of pressure there. I just described me and Kaz were talking about the other day after we saw it at the cinema, and we kind of described it as it's one of those films where you feel like somebody's sitting on your chest the whole time. Yeah, I think the fact that they're on the Nostromo and it's not a big ship. It's sort of oppressive. It's little. It's tiny. Yeah, because they're basically space truckers, aren't they? Yeah, basically. Yeah, the Nostromo is a mining vessel, so they're basically hauling like minerals and stuff to and from places. That's their job. Basically, Red Dwarf. Essentially, yeah. Like they don't do any of the mining for themselves. They're just the truckers who take it back. But obviously, you need enough people on the ship to, in case anyone gets sick, in case the ship breaks down, they've got to repair it. So they have like a small crew on there. But yeah, they're basically just like truckers trucking the stuff about. Yes. And obviously they find or they detect a mysterious transmission on a planet. It wakens the crew because they're all in stasis, and they go and sort of investigate and find some eggs. And one of the crew, Kane, played by John Hurt, he sees that one opens up. He has a look inside, and then he gets a face hugger on his face for his troubles, which is completely part of the life cycle of the alien. You later learn that the life cycle is basically alien queen seeds the planet with loads of eggs. Somebody comes across them, whether it be an animal or a person or whatever. It gets activated by their body heat, I think it is, basically. One of them will open, you get a face hugger, and then their whole horrible life cycle starts. But the way the xenomorph life cycle works is, depending on what animal it is that they impregnate, it takes on characteristics of that animal, which is why the alien is so freaky looking, because it's obviously bred inside a human. So if it's bred inside a different kind of animal, like in the Alien 3, there's an alien based on originally it was a dog. In the director's cut version, it's it's not director's cut because Finch has disowned the film, but in the special edition cut of the film, it's a buffalo. Yeah, which is why you got the bull alien toy. Yeah,
weird.
So they take on like characteristics of the host incubator.
I'm not sure I like that. I'm not. It's a bit silly. Because what if it is a dog? What does that do? I mean, it doesn't. Or a buffalo? What's that meant to? I don't know. I think it's better off if it's a humanoid person. There you go.
I do like in Aliens how they're all kind of like insects and they swarm and there's loads of them. And I like they kind of look the way they look because they're basically giant bugs.
Yeah, well, they're based partly on parasitic wasps. There's a type of wasp which lays its eggs inside living hosts, and then when they hatch, they kill the host, but they've got a meal ready. So that's basically. I mean, the thing about Aliens, the thing I think people find icky and sort of unsettling about them is that it's not an outlandish concept. It happens in nature all the time. You know, we've got like flatworms which inhabit the body of snails.
Yeah,
eat the snail from the inside out, and then make a bird eat the snail. The bird then poops their eggs out, and then it all starts all over again. So nature is plenty icky. It's just the look of the alien that's freaky, but we'll get onto that in a bit as well. But anyway, Kane has the facehugger on for a bit, and they try and get it off, but can't. Apparently, if they try too hard, it would kill him. It's put on like they don't know it at the time, but an ovipositor down its neck. And then it falls off after a while.
Yep.
And dies.
Yeah.
And everything goes on as normal until one particular thing happens. Sam, I'll let you describe that.
Basically, the thing lays an egg down the host's throat by the facehugger attaching to their face. Once it reaches maturity, it just rips its way out straight through the chest.
Not the stomach, as they used to say.
No, it's the chest.
Yeah, because they're called chest bursters.
In fact, interestingly, in the preview footage we saw of Alien Covenant, one of them rips through a guy's back. So I guess it's kind of like, you consider it maybe a breech birth or whatever, where it's in there the wrong way and it comes out through his back.
Could be. I mean, obviously with the whole laying the egg down the throat thing, it has come to light over, certainly the past sort of 10 years, that some people think it's like a rape parable.
It's a parable of male rape. Like, I think it was designed that way intentionally to be unsettling and creepy and weird, because like in the 70s, that's not anything people really thought about, unless you were making joke about prisons. It's not like a thing that was seen as a major threat, so it seems this really big weird thing.
Yeah,
I mean, now it's obviously it's a bit more, people are speaking up about it a bit more. If it happens, it's a bit more of a not a taboo subject, not as shocking, I guess. It's still shocking, but not, I guess it's talked about more. That makes sense. Yeah,
it's less of a taboo subject than it was in the late 70s.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, like I say, it is all about rape, male rape, and obviously the violation of the body when the chestburster comes out. Now, interestingly enough about the chestburster, load of urban myths going around, like none of the cast knew that what was going to happen, and they didn't realise that it was the chestburster was coming through his chest, that kind of thing. Load of bollocks. They knew exactly what was going to happen. What they didn't know, they'd not been told that fake blood would also be bursting out as well. So they knew it was going to burst through his chest. They knew there would be a little bit of fake blood. They didn't know that quite so much viscera. So when they actually got, I think it's Lambert gets covered with it.
Yep. And she screams.
That's a real reaction. They had to do it in the one take. What you see is the take that they took. And apparently, I think Yaphet Kotto or Chris Christopherson was going to punch Ridley Scott in the face. It could have been Skerritt. I can't remember who it is. But yeah, it was. It says here, when the creature burst through the chest, a stream of blood shot directly at Veronica Cartwright, who played Lambert, and it shocked her enough that she fell over and went into hysterics. That kind of reminds me of Shelley Duvall in The Shining. With she wasn't giving Kubrick exactly the reaction he wanted, so he slapped her.
Yeah.
Then said, "Roll it."
And she was just like, "What?"
Yeah, exactly. Very, very weird. But because of that, if that scene hadn't played out as it had, I don't think Alien would have become the phenomena it did. I think it hinges on that saying.
Yeah.
Because nobody in the theatre would have been expecting that. Can you imagine?
Well, yeah, I think you go see a horror movie about aliens, that's not what you expect to see, really, especially in the 70s.
I mean, I remember the first time I saw it, it gave me nightmares for a week. And they said they admit that because of the real life surprise of the actors that they had, it gave it that realism that it needed, and it sort of became sort of real. During preview screenings, the crew noticed that some viewers would move towards the back of the theatre so as not to be too close to the screen during the sequence.
Because that's going to help.
I think it's just they didn't want to see it up close. That's all. But anyway, so yeah, the chest burster comes through a Kane's chest and then scuttles off with everybody shocked. Also, turns out that the alien has acid blood as well. So they can't use conventional weaponry on it because it could basically destroy the ship and kill everyone on board anyway. As it turns out, it doesn't really matter because most of them get killed anyway.
Apparently they gave the alien acid blood to basically write themselves out of a corner.
Yeah.
Because they were like, well, if it's on there, just shoot it.
Just shoot it.
Like, well, you can't just shoot it. You can't just stab it because it'll, like, kill you with its acid blood. And I think one of them just said in the writers' meeting, yeah, give him acid blood, and then that was that was that. It wasn't like a massive decision or anything. No,
and yet it completely falls into line with what the alien is supposed to be, because it is just this survival. It's just survival to the max, basically. Survival writ large, because the whole life cycle is. The thing I like about it is you wouldn't think I would. Because it's something I hate with zombies, but it genuinely has no agenda. Apart from just to live and survive and keep living and procreating. And I kind of... It's the most primal urge that any one thing can have. And it's the thing that drives most things on the planet. In fact, Doctor Who, 2 weeks ago, the first episode, there is actually a part where they're being chased by this thing, and Bill, the companion, says, "Oh, so it's evil." And the Doctor says, there's no such thing as evil in the universe. You'll find that very few things are actually properly evil. 9 times out of 10, they're just hungry. And she says, well, what do you mean hungry? He says, well, they're just hungry. I mean, or would you prefer your bacon sandwich to love you back? You know, and that's basically the alien. That's the xenomorph. They don't care who you are, what you are. They don't have any emotions other than live, kill, survive. Live, kill, survive. So I kind of like that. But yeah, so it just keeps going around. It keeps killing people as they're trying to capture it. The only one that really doesn't help is Ash, played by Ian Holm, brilliantly played by Ian Holm, who was apparently secretly being ordered to return the alien to the crew's employers. They knew all along what was going to happen, and they consider the crew completely expendable. They want Ash to bring the alien back home so they can study it, with a view to it being a weapon of some kind, which is a running theme throughout the whole Alien franchise. Humans being fucking stupid.
Yep.
And thinking they can control this force of nature, which you can't. But yeah, Ash tries to kill Ripley.
Yep.
Who is the thing I like about Ripley is that, and again, if you ask a lot of people now, she's this massive feminist icon and she's this woman doing it for herself and all it. No, she's just a member of she's a low level member of a crew who just wants to get home.
Well,
you know,
they were all the characters were purposefully written to be like unisex and interchangeable. So none of them are overly male, none of them are overly female. They're all just people.
Yeah, just blue collar workers.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's quite good that Ripley's kind of forced to be the main character because it's kind of the first real time there was a strong female lead in a movie. But it's not like she's this great big feminist icon or anything, because she's just Ripley, really. Yeah, just a character. Yeah,
just this ordinary everyman, every woman, or whatever you want to call it. You know, this just normal person who's thrust into this extraordinary situation who really, really, really doesn't want to be in this situation. But anyway, yeah, it turns out Ash tries to kill her because she's trying to kill the alien. And again, the rape metaphor comes in because he basically tries to, as much as he can, choke her with his penis. It's a porno mag.
Yeah.
That he chokes with, but he's effectively just trying to choke her with it. It's again like a penetration thing. And it's horrible. It's really one of the nastiest parts of the whole film is when he tries to kill her. And it's
Bilbo Baggins is trying to murder Ripley.
When what's his face out of The Fifth Element is trying to, because Ian Holm usually plays dodgy characters sometimes, but he usually plays nice characters.
He's usually like the kindly vicar and stuff. That's kind of his usual role. Yeah,
like Smiley, that kind of thing. But anyway, they knock off his head. It turns out he's actually an android. None of them knew that he was an android. They interrogate him. They learn he was assigned to the Nostromo to convince the crew to capture the creature and return it for analysis. He taunts them about the chances of survival and saying they can't beat it. So Ripley disconnects him and Parker burns him with a flamethrower.
Yep.
They agree to set the Nostromo to self-destruct and escape in the shuttle, but Parker and Lambert are ambushed and killed by the alien while they're trying to gather life support supplies. But Ripley initiates the self-destruct sequence anyway. Alien blocks her path. He tries killing her, so she retreats. She tries to abort the self-destruction sequence, can't, but she does narrowly escape in the shuttle as the Nostromo explodes. It turns out the alien's still there with her, but she dons a spacesuit, opens the shuttle's airlock. Basically, it causes explosive decompression. It forces the alien into the shuttle's open doorway, and then she shoots it into space.
Yep.
It does attempt to crawl into one of the engines, and then she basically activates them, so it blasts the alien into space. Not killing it, though. Oddly enough, you can't kill them by ejecting them into space.
Yeah, they explain earlier on in the movie that they've got kind of a hardy constitution, I guess, so they can't.
Well, you've got an exoskeleton.
They can survive extreme situations and things that human beings can't.
They're a bit like tardigrades, that kind of thing. So Ash calls them the perfect organism at some point in the film, and that's the whole point, that they are basically unkillable.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, very difficult to kill without harm to yourself.
They're unkillable and they don't give a fuck.
No, they're not one single shit.
Nope.
She records a final log entry and she places herself and Jones the cat into stasis for the voyage home, and that's the end of the film.
Mm-hmm. Jones the cat, best character in the Alien movie.
I love Jones.
He doesn't care.
Jones is cool, and he survives. That's the best thing about it.
Yep. And there's even a scene with the alien when it's pursuing Ripley, and Jones is sitting there, and the alien looks at Jones, and then looks at Ripley, and just walks past Jones completely, and Jones is just there, licking himself, yeah, whatever, getting on with it.
It's a cat.
Yeah.
Cat doesn't give a shit.
Nah.
A lot has been said about the actors in the film, but one of the actors that doesn't often get mentioned, has started to get mentioned a lot now, is I think it's Balaji Badejo, his name was, who was the guy who was in the alien suit.
Yes.
And I think if he hadn't been moving the way that he did, if he'd not portrayed it, like Kevin Peter Hall as the Predator, if he'd not done it the way that he did, again, I don't think it would have been as iconic a character, the alien itself, because he moved like a dancer. I think he was a dancer, or an artist, like a visual artist, a mime, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think they met him in a coffee shop.
Something like that.
He was like in the queue in front of him in a coffee shop, and because he's like a tall, skinny,
willowy,
willowy, like Eastern European guy who just happened to be in this coffee shop.
Yeah, it was Nigerian. Was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they were like, "Oh, you could work for our movie. We're looking for someone to play an alien." And it just turned out that he was also like a dancer or a performance artist, so he kind of knew how to move his body. That just was this amazing coincidence. Yeah,
he was, like I say, absolutely brilliant. Sadly, he died at the age of 39 back in 1992. I mean, that's really, really young, and that's not good at all. So that's a shame. But yeah, again, if he hadn't moved the way he had done, I don't think it would again have been as popular. And you got things like the lighting as well. If you ever look at the least successful Alien movies, like the Alien versus Predator, there you will always find that the alien will be lit very brightly. So you'll see it all. And it's that thing with the Daleks. The Daleks never work if they're lit brightly and you can see them. It's because they were poorly lit. You couldn't see much of them. It's that menace in the shadows.
It's a combination of things in the Alien movie as well, because the lighting's always really dark and atmospheric, so you've got like the strobe effects and kind of the yellow emergency lights and just kind of atmospheric lights. There's no like straight up overhead lighting or direct lighting on them. There's that. There's the fact that you never see the whole of the alien, you only see bits of it.
Yeah.
Like you never see him stood there, like the whole of him. And for the director's cut version is just over 2 hours long. 2 hours, 10 minutes or something like that. And the alien's in it for like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
It's that whole less is more thing. Like, you're more scared about what the alien can do and where the alien is than the alien itself.
Absolutely.
So I think it got a bit silly later on when he's popping up as action figures and in to an extent parts of Aliens, which we are going to talk about, where there's like loads of them.
Oh yeah.
And then like Alien 3, where you just straight up see it clearly. Alien Resurrection, even like the Alien vs Predator movies, where they're just straight up there, and it cheapens it a little bit. Yeah,
it does, absolutely. You know, like you say, less is more, especially in horror films. When Jason Voorhees lost his mystique, that's when the films got shit.
Freddy Krueger as well.
Freddy Krueger, Norman Bates to a certain extent. When you Hannibal Lecter, there's one. Now we know everything there is to know about Hannibal. He's a boring character, I think.
Yeah,
much more interesting when you don't know much about him, and it's the same. Definitely true of the alien. Although I do like knowing about its life cycle, and that to me that makes it worse. When you find out its whole life cycle and the sort of history of the aliens as such, when you do introduce things like the Queen, that makes it worse. I suppose we should talk about H.R. Geiger as well for a little bit. Yeah. For the first Alien film before we move on to Aliens. Would it have been as successful had he not been involved? I don't think so. No,
his design for the aliens is that's the icon. It's Ripley and the alien. When you think of Alien, that's what you think of. And Geiger's design is so creepy. It's so kind of inhuman, but still kind of human. Like it's got the skull motif and it's got humanoid body shape, but then it's got like the big tail and the big weird shaped head,
penis.
It's basically a giant dick.
It's a cock. It's a whole cock because it's Geiger, and Geiger was a bit sexual.
Yeah.
If you look through Geiger's sort of work, his portfolio, whoa, that guy had no problem showing his sexuality at all. And the alien is like sort of like you say, it is humanoid, but not. It's weird looking. It's distinctive. There's nothing else like it.
No.
You've got the whole mouth within the mouth as well, which freaks people out. I've been meaning to ask this all week to someone, and I thought I'm not asking people at work because they'll think I'm weird, but do they eat? I don't think they eat. They don't use the mouth to eat. They just kill.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen any evidence of them eating. Because they don't even kill. They subdue to create more incubators for facehuggers.
Well, they do kill because they use the mouth in their mouth to basically cave your head in.
Yeah.
But do they actually eat the brains? Because some people say they do, and I don't think they do. I've
never seen anything of them eating.
I don't think they have nourishment, as it were. They just the full size adult alien just serves to subdue so they can do the face hugging.
Yeah,
like a drone.
Yeah, because you go like into the alien lair and things, especially in Aliens, where you see more of it. Again, when you get into it, where they have like the bodies on the wall, so the facehuggers can use them as incubators, essentially.
Yeah, I don't think they eat. I just think their mouths are there just to kill, and they're sort of made of metal as well, kind of, or very very hard chitin.
Yeah, it's kind of supposed to be a natural material, but it's kind of really durable and sort of not of the earth kind of thing.
Yeah,
so it is very alien in that respect. Oh yeah.
He said the thing in the thing. But yeah, totally. If Geiger hadn't done, if somebody else had done it, it maybe would be, I don't know, memorable, but it wouldn't be iconic. And the best thing about it, and I was thinking about this as I was walking home today, it doesn't date. Like all good movie monsters, it may change a little with each film. Because if you think of the most successful monsters there's ever been in any sort of fiction, so you got Frankenstein's monster, it doesn't really change. He evolves a bit to move with the times, but the basic template stays the same. Same with the Mummy, same with Dracula, same with the Wolfman. These are characters that have been around since the 30s, Universal movie monsters, and they're basically the same now. Or things like the Daleks. Again, you've got your 60s Daleks, your 70s Daleks, but the basic template is the same, and it's the same with the Cybermen as well. Which is interesting to know, because we'll be seeing the 60s Cybermen in this series of Doctor Who. And I get the feeling people are going to be just as freaked out about them as they are about Cybermen now, possibly even more, because they're a little bit more human in the 60s. Because they've got human hands and everything like that, which will freak people out, hopefully. But again, with the Alien, you can definitely see that the Alien of Aliens isn't the same one of Alien. So there's been like sort of evolution in that 7 years, but the basic template is the same. Somebody says alien or xenomorph to you, you're going to have this idea in your head of what that is straight away. Yeah,
it's the kind of skeletal features, the tail, the claws, the big long head, and the double mouth.
Yeah, it's just like Predator. There's another one as well. Say Predator, people know what you're talking about. You don't. The alien. You're not going to think of little green men with big eyes. You're going to think of that thing.
Yeah.
The xenomorph or whatever
the alien from Alien. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Brilliant. So Geiger did a massive bang up job there and created a cultural icon.
Yeah, it is an actual pop culture icon. It is one of those. It's like a staple, really, of pop culture.
Well, it's the thing. I mean, they're still making Alien films now. I mean, Prometheus is a bit of an aberration because it's effectively an aborted reboot.
Kind of, yes. It's kind of a prequel that's not really a prequel. It's kind of a precursor set in the same universe that's not really a prequel. It sort of is.
I basically think of it as it's what they wanted as a reboot, and then nobody liked it, and so they said, "Oh well, no, it's not. It's what you said it was." Basically, an Alien Covenant that is going to be proper aliens.
Yeah.
So basically, forget Prometheus.
Yeah,
basically,
I think it's going to use elements of Prometheus, but I think they're going to pick and choose the stuff they liked and get rid of the rest of it.
I think so. I think it was a brave thing. Don't get me wrong. I've not seen it yet. The only thing that I would really want to see it for is Fassbender. That's the one.
Yep.
And Noomi Rapeface, because I quite like both of those.
Noomi Rapace is awesome.
I can't call her that.
I can't call her by her name.
Noomi Rapeface. I'm sorry, it's just too funny not to say. But yeah, Fassbender especially. And I have seen a bit of the end. I have seen bits of it on YouTube. We know the face hugger or the body hugger as it is in that thing. I think there are interesting elements of it, but I honestly do think, Covenant's probably a good idea on that one. But we shall move on from Alien to Aliens. Now, tonal shift is a thing.
Oh, completely.
From body horror or slasher horror to Cameronian violence.
Straight up action movie.
Yeah, I mean it's just like sort of completely different. Absolutely completely different. Now, as far as I can remember from what I have read online, they wanted to do a follow-up straight away, but new management at Fox didn't want to do it, basically, until 1983. I have a feeling that's because they didn't want it to get in the way of Star Wars.
Possibly, yeah.
I think they wanted it to sort of people don't get confused. You know what people are like back then. So it was greenlit in 1984 after Cameron did the Terminator. So I think he got the Aliens gig based purely on the fact that the Terminator did so well.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's basically Vietnam. Basically. For some reason, I don't know why. I think it's just action films were very popular and they thought, what can we make an action film of? Oh yeah, that alien thing. So Cameron, being Cameron, didn't just do one alien, he did holy fuck so many aliens.
Yep.
I love it. It was filmed in England as well, an abandoned power plant in Acton it was. It's no longer there, I don't think. But they changed a few things, mainly the time frame, because it's 57 years after the original, and Ripley is discovered floating through space. She's debriefed by her employees because Weyland-Yutani still exists, but they want to know what happened. They're skeptical of her claims that the alien killed them. Originally, they basically want to prosecute her because they think that she did it, but it turns out they know she didn't. And they lie to her. They say that, we're going to take you back to where the alien eggs were, and we're gonna take colonial marines with you, and they're going to kill all the aliens there. It's never the plan.
No.
It's Paul Reiser's fault. I blame him.
Bloody Paul Reiser.
Paul Reiser as Burke, who turns out to be a real shit.
You could say he's a bit of a Burke.
Yeah, he's a complete dick. Obviously, at the start of the film, you think that he's going to be Ripley's friend. He's going to help her. Turns out he's not going to help her. Mm-hmm. He basically wants her to find the aliens for him so he can take them home, so Weyland-Yutani can develop them with bioweapons. They don't learn.
No.
This is Jurassic Park all over again. What they need to do with aliens, they never learn. That's what they want to do. Anyway, Ripley originally says, no, I don't want to go back there, and has massive recurring nightmares. But she says, as long as you exterminate them and not capture them, I'll go with you. And then she's introduced to the colonial marines. They say that yes, they will kill her. So we've got Lieutenant Gorman, who's the commanding officer. Mm-hmm. And Lieutenant Gorman, played by, I forget who Lieutenant Gorman. Oh, it's William Hope. It is Lieutenant Gorman, and also introduced to Corporal Dwayne Hicks, who I love. I love him. It wasn't supposed to be Michael Biehn though originally. It was James Remar.
Yeah,
who I love. But apparently had creative differences.
Well, back in the 80s, James Remar, a bit of a dick as well. So he recently was kind of mellowed out.
Yeah, he was a complete dick in the 80s, but he got a big head from doing The Warriors.
Yeah.
Basically, but you had Paul Reiser's Burke. You've got Bishop, who's one of my favourite characters in all of Alien, because it's Lance Henriksen and he's made of leather.
Yes, he is.
Turns out Bishop's an android, and Ripley doesn't like him through most of the film. And isn't very good at hiding the fact that she doesn't like him at all. You've also got my personal favourite, Private Hudson, played by the brilliant Bill Paxton. Mm-hmm. Been a nice thing going on this week, actually. They did an interview with the surviving cast members of the Aliens film, and they all were saying how good Bill Paxton was to work with, how great he was. But he's got the... I think it was his idea to do this as well. The game over, man! Game over! That was actually Bill Paxton's idea. He ad-libbed that.
Oh, actually.
Kind of awesome.
Yes,
I think so anyway. You've also got Vasquez, Jeanette Goldstein, who I love. She's my favourite character in all of Aliens. Is Vasquez.
She's badass as well.
Again, she's like Ripley. She's just a person.
Yeah.
Just a Marine, And she really is a feminist icon, apparently. I've been looking into this. And the feminists absolutely love her because she is a badass, but she's not exactly feminine, but she's not a bloke. I thought she was a great character. She'd proper mouth on her as well. And my favourite sergeant ever, apart from Sergeant Slaughter, obviously, Sergeant Apone, Al Matthews. Look into my eye. Oh, geez, Sarge, it's really cold in here. You get some slippers? Look into my eye. He was great. Apparently, he attributed his casting Al Matthews to his actual military experience. He was, again, another sergeant in the army, which is pretty cool. But they were the main guys, and basically they were the hard, tough colonial marines who were just basically going to go on a bug hunt, which is great. But yes, they do get to, it's the ExoMoon LV-426.
Yep.
where they find the colony deserted, but they find makeshift barricades inside the colony. Signs of a struggle, no bodies, but 2 live facehuggers in containment, tanks in the medical lab, and 1 survivor, a traumatized young girl named Newt, played by Carrie Henn, who she did the film and then said, I don't want to be an actress. So she became a school teacher instead. But she still goes to conventions still.
Yeah, she does a lot of conventions and things. Apparently she's really nice.
Yes, apparently so. She was chosen out of 500 children. But like I say, decided at the end of it, yeah, thanks, but no thanks, I don't want to be a child actor. Which is fine. That happens a lot. The kid out of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Or Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory, should I say. He never became, and I think... the guy out of Oliver? I think he did 1 more role and then stopped. It does happen. But anyway, they find Newt, who had been using the ventilation system to evade capture or death by the aliens. But the colonists they find beneath a fusion-powered atmosphere, and they're basically, as you said, just being cocooned, serving as incubators for the aliens. The Marines kill the newborn alien, which means that basically the rest of them are woken up. And they ambush the Marines and capturing several of them. Gorman panics. Game over, man. Game over.
Game over, man.
That's it, man. No, that's it. Game over, man. Game over. Ripley takes control of the vehicle, rams it through the nest to rescue Hicks, Hudson and Vasquez. And Hicks orders the dropship to recover the survivors, but a stowaway alien kills pilots, which is a really horrible scene as well. That crashes into the station. So Ripley, Newt, Burt and Gorman and the remaining Marines do barricade themselves inside the colony command centre. Turns out, Burke, he did it deliberately. He sent the colonists to that moon to investigate the derelict spaceship with the pilot and everything, the space jockey. He thought he could become wealthy by recovering the alien specimens for use as biological weapons. Nice. She threatens to expose him, but Bishop informs the group of a greater danger. The power plant has been damaged by the dropship crash and will soon explode with the force of a 40 megaton thermonuclear weapon, so they need to get the fuck out of there. And in a move that completely shocks Ripley, he volunteers to crawl through the piping conduits to reach the transmitter and reportedly pilot the Sulaco's remaining dropship to the surface. Burke basically releases the facehuggers so they would impregnate Ripley and Newt in the medical lab. She locks him inside there, and Burke basically gets killed. He gets killed by a facehugger, if I remember correctly. I think. I can't remember. Newt's captured by the aliens, and Hicks is very injured and can't help. They do reach Bishop in the dropship, and Newt basically gets captured again by the aliens, and the two have to encounter the alien queen in her egg chamber, and that's when the best bit of the film happens.
One of the most badass sections of any movie ever, where Ripley's just flamethrower and gun walking through corridors full of alien slime trying to find the queen so she can get Newt back.
Yeah, it is badass. And it's just a case of she's not trying to be a badass. She just is.
Yeah.
Just goes around.
She's got to do what she's got to do, so...
And also, the alien queen is fucking huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a little alien, this. This is a massive egg depositing... And you think she's static as well. That's the other thing. You think she's sort of in the middle, can't do anything, will send drone after drone after drone. And she basically does. So, yeah, she does signal guarding aliens to... let Ripley leave because she can see she's heavily armed, and basically the alien queen is the same as the others but a bit more intelligent, so she knows that she doesn't want her eggs destroyed, so just let her go. It's basically the same as GLaDOS at the end of Portal 2. Just get out. Get out of my sight. I'll let you go. Just fuck off and never come here again. Leave me alone. Ripley doesn't have that plan and starts basically flamethrowing eggs.
Yep.
Which kind of makes the Queen a bit pissed off.
Yeah, you could say that.
And the most horrifying part of the whole film happens when the Queen just rips herself away from her ovipositor and starts coming for Ripley.
Yep. But it does also lead to another badass moment.
Oh, yeah! Because... what happens then is amazing. They do go away on the dropship. They do nuke it from orbit just to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
So they do basically level the moon. And the Sulaco, everything's fine, we got away, we survived. No, because the alien queen stowed away on the landing gear of the dropship. She basically tears Bishop in half, which is amazing, and then starts advancing on Newt, but Ripley gets inside the power loader that we'd seen earlier on. Get away from her, you bitch! That is quite iconic.
That is probably, that's up there with, Yippee-ki-yay, and you had me at hello, and Play It Again, Sam, and all that sort of, like, Frankie My Dear, Give a Damn kind of classic, like, cinema, like lines in cinema history.
Absolutely. She basically has a massive fight with the alien queen.
Mm-hmm.
Just
throws it out an airlock.
Again. She beats the shit out of the alien queen, chucks her out of an airlock, and then her, Newt, Hicks, and Bishop enter hypersleep for the return trip to Earth. And that's the end of Aliens.
Yep.
Good film.
It's a good movie.
Good film. I remember punching the air when it turned out that Bishop, because Bishop comes back at one point and helps her. And I'm like, yeah, Bishop, hooray! And then he gets killed like pretty swiftly. But he doesn't die. And it turns out that there's more than one.
Bishop's a model, not a particular machine. Yeah.
Also, he's based on the head of Weyland-Yutani, or somebody from Weyland-Yutani. Anyway,
it's in Alien 3.
Yeah,
it's someone who works in their like biosciences division who basically invented the technology for that model of android. So sort of based on himself.
That's it. I do remember. But yeah, it's brilliant. I really, really, really love it. Aliens. It's one of my favourite films. And my favourite Aliens film. It's just, I don't know, it's just balls to the wall action. And it's just James Cameron at his best. He's sort of lost that edge that he used to have. Ever since he did Titanic, oddly enough. He does things like Avatar, which is, I don't know, it's got elements of Aliens in it, as Avatar. But it's not as good, it's not a good film. I don't think so, anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of well, Avatar's very derivative, whereas previous things like Terminator was kind of an original idea for the time. Aliens was an original take on what was basically a low budget horror movie. But yeah, he just seems to be quite happy to just sort of exist in his own universe, his own world now. But like,
as long as he's got his submarines, he's not that bothered. Although they have been saying for a long time he wanted to revisit Aliens.
I don't think he will though, because
I don't think he
Ridley
can.
Scott's very protective of it anyway. Like Neil Blomkamp wanted to do his version, like his sequel.
Yeah, I remember.
And Ridley Scott's like, yeah, maybe we'll get to that when I've finished doing the sequel to Prometheus, and now that's nearly out. And he's like, yeah, there's going to be 3 more movies after this. So Blomkamp's like, cool. So I guess I'm not going to get a chance to have a play then.
No, because I remember when he was confirmed as the director of the next Alien film, and he brought out all these cool designs and that.
Yeah, all his concept art popped up. Like Ripley was going to be back. It was going to be set between Aliens and Alien 3, and kind of it wasn't going to be like a reboot, but it was going to be like, Alien 3 was 1 page of the book, and the new film was like turning into a different page, like a choose your own ending kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, to go to Alien 3, turn to page 12. To continue on with this path, go to page 40. That kind of thing. Which would have been interesting. So I do hope we get to see something with him. Because I love Neil Blomkamp anyway. He's a very good visual director.
Yeah. Plus he directed...
District 9?
That's what I want to say. Avenue Q. No.
District 9, Elysium, which is really good as well.
Which is basically Battle Angel Alita.
Yep, and Chappie.
Chippy.
Chippy.
With what are they called? The band, the group.
Oh, D'Antwoord.
The Antwoord, I like them. I think they're weird and cool.
But I was reading a thing with Neil Blomkamp when he was talking about like his potential Alien movie, and apparently he was going to have Sharlto Copley doing the motion capture for the Alien. And I want to see that. That sounds so good.
Because of course he would. And I'm sure the Antwoord would be in there somewhere as well.
I hope not.
Who was doing the mocap for Chappie? It was somebody famous, wasn't it?
That was Sharlto Copley.
Was it Sharlto Copley?
Yeah.
I didn't know he did the mocap. I know he did the voice.
No, he did the mocap as well.
All right. Isn't Hugh Jackman in it? He's crazy,
Hugh Jackman works for the company that he was made by, but his creator is Dev Patel.
That's it. I knew Dev Patel was in there somewhere as
well.
I
film, Chappie, yeah.
I've not seen it. I need to see it. I like Dev Patel, though. So, and everybody loves Hugh Jackman. So,
yeah. And the Antwoord are also there. Sigourney Weaver's in it as well, actually.
You did not so keen on the Antwoord then?
Well, I like their music, and then before
they're not actors.
No, they're not actors. They do a good job in the movie, but apparently, because Blomkamp's South African, and he kind of grew up with them and has like known them for years.
Yeah,
so that it was like, you'd be perfect as kind of the leads in this movie, and apparently they were just dicks the entire time, and he kind of doesn't talk to them anymore, and they kind of had a big falling out. Because they got really diva-ish on set.
Ugh. No need for that.
No.
But there you go. Are we going to talk about Alien 3? It was 92, so I suppose we can.
We can talk briefly about it, but I'm not bothered about Resurrection because it doesn't exist.
It's terrible. Resurrection is an awful film, but Alien 3 is not much better.
It's... I don't really... like it that much. I mean, I can watch it. It's tolerable. It's better than Resurrection. But it's,
Brian Glover's in it.
Brian Glover is in it. And he's very good in it.
He's always very good in everything.
Charles Dance's in it as well.
He's good in everything as well.
Yeah.
And Paul McGann as well.
Yeah, Paul McGann. Yeah, pops up in it briefly. And, what is his name? The guy from... He used to be in Casualty. Oh, it's going to bug me.
Clive Mantle?
Yes, that's it.
Yes. Phil Davis is in it as well. Christopher Fairbank, who was Moxie in Auf Wiedersehen, and also What Are You? In Batman as well.
Pete Postlethwaite as well.
Pete Postlethwaite was in it as well. Yes, exactly. And Ralph Brown.
Yeah, Ralph Brown's brilliant.
Off Wayne's World and Nail.
Yeah, when me and Casby watched Alien 3 recently, and like he popped up, and I was like, that is, she was like, no. I'm like, I had to get Ozzy 1,000 brand M&Ms to fill a brandy glass, or we would not go on stage that night. And she's like, oh my god, it is!
I don't...
bloody great big Bengal tiger. The tiger was easy enough to dispatch, but the shopkeeper and his son, they were a different story altogether. I had to beat them to death with their own shoes.
I love the fact he is just a with nail and eye character.
Yeah.
In World 2. It's just the same character.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Also, With Nail and I, great film. We'll have to talk about that at some point as well. I want some booze. Demand to have some booze. Oddly enough, Charles Dance's character originally was supposed to be Richard E. Grant. Because he wanted Ralph Brown, Paul McGann, and Richard E. Grant in the same film. Did Fincher. Yes, I know, right?
He's a big With Nail and I fan.
Yes. Who isn't? But yeah, a lot of British actors, because I think it was filmed in Britain as well, as a lot of these things are. But where was it? It doesn't say development, production, doesn't say. Pinewood. Yes, it was Pinewood. So,
of course it is. Where else would it be in the 90s?
Well, of course. But yeah, it's an odd film. Is Alien 3? It's like a soft reboot almost.
Kind of. Yeah, it is a.
Because it just basically says Newt, Hicks, Bishop. Nah, I'm not going to wake them up.
Yeah, they just kill him off screen.
Yeah.
Newt they find it's the escape pods from the Sulaco at the end of Aliens. They crash land on this planet, which you later find out is a Furina 161, which is actually a prison, like a refinery, but a prison. Like all the people where there are prisoners. Hicks is killed when a beam like smashes into his face. They find him with like no face. It's like interesting. Well, because they didn't have to pay Michael Biehn likeness rights, even though they did because they used the picture of him in the movie anyway.
Yep.
And then Newt died because her tube got smashed, and she was played by a completely different actress.
Yep.
And obviously Bishop, being an android, he just stopped
never
working.
gets turned on. Yeah, he just stopped working, basically.
And Ripley's the only survivor.
Yep.
So like, all these characters you love from the previous movie, we're just going to kill them off screen. No problem. That's cool.
And also Ripley might have an alien inside her.
Yeah.
So yeah,
face hugger that's stowed away.
Yeah, that happened. It's just clunky.
Yeah, it's the setup is very kind of circumstantial.
Yeah, pretty much. So it turns out there's an alien there as well who goes around killing people. And stuff happens, and there's a lot of chasing. And again, Weyland Yutani hope to turn aliens into biological weapons.
Yeah. Oh, they'll come and pick the alien up.
Yeah.
Oh, you killed the alien. Oh, well, the thing is one in Ripley. Yeah, we'll pick Ripley up.
Yeah, we'll pick Ripley up because she's got a queen inside her.
And
the
alien might attack her.
Yes, no alien will attack her. So she begs Dylan to kill her, and Dylan won't kill her, basically. So they lure the creature in there, and they drown it in molten lead. Every prisoner except Morse and Dylan die as well.
Yep.
But Dylan remains in the mold to distract the alien. He allows it to tear him apart, and Morse pulls molten lead onto them, so they die. Oh yeah, it's actually quite cool the way they kill it, because the alien's covered in molten metal, but Ripley activates the fire sprinklers, so it causes the exoskeleton to cool rapidly and shatter. So it basically explodes, Terminator 2 style. Funny that, isn't it? But Weyland Yutani come down, and basically turns out that Bishop is based on the likeness of his creator, who tries to persuade Ripley not to make a fuss and just come quietly. It's Aaron, the character Aaron. He strikes the Bishop lookalike with a wrench, and it's really nasty as well. His ear's sort of hanging off.
Yeah.
Ugh, no, awful. And Ripley, to make sure that Weyland Yutani can't get a hold of her, she does throw herself into the furnace, but the infant alien queen erupts from her chest. She grabs it to prevent it from escaping, and she dies. And yeah, it's not good.
Yes, it's not as bad as Resurrection, which we're not going to talk about because it's awful.
Oh, it's shit. The only thing I can think of, I've seen it once. The only thing I can remember is alien guts being dragged through its arse. When it gets pulled out of a small, tiny hole.
Not Ripley throwing a basketball behind her head and getting a basket in one shot.
There's that, and then there's the where she walks through that room full of jars of her.
Yeah.
But she has to kill herself, I think. Like, they kill me!
That's quite an interesting idea, though, actually.
It's quite
They
interesting.
could have explored it better. Yeah.
Well, they would have been able to if they kept the original scriptwriter.
Yeah, and if they'd let the director do what he wanted to do.
And not have Brad Dourif in it.
There's nothing wrong with Brad Dourif.
In Ron Perlman in it.
Ron Perlman's in it as well, yeah.
That's about the only good thing about the whole thing. That Ron Perlman's in it, because Ron Perlman's cool in anything.
Well, Sigourney Weaver's great. Ron Perlman's great. It's directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet, who directed Amelie, which is one of my favourite films ever. And apparently it's the only English language film he's ever directed, and his experience on it put him off doing English language films.
Yep, he did Delicatessen, City of Lost Children, stuff that basically Rob Perlman's
Max,
in.
which came out recently, which is awesome. Well, recently, I mean, like a couple of years ago. Basically, I love Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Oh, he's great. I'm not so keen on Amelie, but I do like Delicatessen.
Amelie's one of my favourite films.
Yeah, well, he's French New Wave, so he's cool no matter what. Like I say, I have major philosophical reasons I don't like Amelie, because it's a bit too Pollyanna for me.
It's very twee. Yeah,
whimsy. Yeah. It's very Wes Anderson.
See, I like these. I like its kookiness, and I like that it's willing to be different and doesn't care that it's different.
And I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, but it doesn't do it in a pretentious way. It does it in just kind of an interesting way.
It's not pretension that I don't like whimsy. I just don't like whimsy. I just don't get on well with it. I don't like when Spielberg gets whimsical. I can't bear it. So things like Hook and things like E.T. is the same.
It's that saccharine whimsy.
Yeah, it's just I don't like it. It's Wes Anderson, anything Wes Anderson, I can't bear it. Ooh, look at me, I'm quirky. It's the filmic version of somebody who dresses funny and goes, "Look at me, I'm Mad Me," and it's like, no, you're not. You're not. You're just trying to be.
Oh, I'm so eccentric.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look at me. I carry an umbrella and wear a top hat. Ha 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 ha. Fuck off. But anyway, I don't blame Janae for the failures of that film. It's a terrible film because it was written as a terrible film. Joss Whedon should have been kept on instead of the person who was brought on eventually to do it, because Whedon would have made a better fist of it. It's just not very good. I
don't blame Fincher for Alien 3 either, because he was hindered by the studio at every turn.
Alan Smithied it, didn't he?
Yeah, he's disowned it. So when they did the quadrology set a few years ago, they wanted him to do director's cut of the film, and he's like, no, it's not my movie, there's more. The studio had more to do with it than I did. I was just there and told people to say their lines.
Yeah.
So he disowned it. So they basically had to do what they call an assembly cut, which is basically they found his original edit list and just re-edited the film and found some original footage, and that was what they did. So basically it is a director's cut without the director having actually doing it, but they found his notes. So, but yeah, he's just. But I think Fincher's gone on to have quite a successful career in his own right.
I guess. Did that little art house flick Fight Club, didn't he?
Oh yeah, that one, and that American version of the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which did pretty well.
Did you do Gone Girl as well?
He did Gone Girl, yeah. Gone Girl was awesome.
That little film with Tyler Perry.
Yep. Who's the other guy in that? You know, that he's a fairly well known up and coming actor. Oh yeah, Ben Affleck.
Ben fucking Affleck. What's her face as well? Oh my word, Krasinski's wife. What's her name? Oh, I don't think it's her anyway.
Rosamund Pike, isn't it?
That's it. No, it's the other one I'm thinking of. Emily Blunt. To be fair,
Blunt's not in.
Girl on the Train.
Yeah, she's a girl on the train.
They're the same person, frankly. That's the problem I have with actors, female actors these days. Pretty much all the same person. They all play the same role. Like Amy Adams and her and Rosamund Pike and Noomi Rapace. They all seem to play the same person. They all seem to, I don't know, these dot-eyed, weird women. And there's sort of, I don't know what it is. I don't know why they all have to play the same role in the same way. Don't get me wrong, male actors do it as well.
Yeah.
But there just seems to be a lot more female actors doing that these days than male actors. Very odd. Very strange. I didn't realise Michael Wincott was in Alien Resurrection as well. It's been so long since I've seen it. I love Michael Wincott. He's great. He's great as Guy Gisborne. He's brilliant as Top Dollar. I love The Crow. It's such a load of shit. It is a load of shit, is The Crow, and it's a terrible comic. I don't care what anybody says. It's awful. I tried reading The Crow, and it's this derivative Neil Gaiman-esque bollocks.
I'm not really a fan of The Crow.
I love the film, the original one. I kind of like the second one for the lulz.
I don't even really like the original one.
I like it. I like Brandon Lee. I think a lot of it is I like Brandon Lee. And I like
Brandon Lee should have obviously shouldn't have died, because if he had it, he would have had a really big career. So he's a really good actor. I just don't care for The Crow. I just find it a bit
pretentious.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it's become. How it's become this kind of iconic cult movie. It's like, it's not very good. Sorry, it's not a very good film. It's really overrated.
Just think though, if we'd not had The Crow, we would never have had Sting. Like he was. Crow Sting. I like Crow Sting. He's my favourite Sting. So, it was good for something. Obviously you have all the AVP films, which we're not going to go into because they're bobbins. There is no discussion on that. They're shit.
Yeah, they are.
All of them are shit.
They totally are. They are. When you have a movie starring well, with featuring the Predators versus Aliens, or Aliens versus Predators, as it is called. The Predators being the good guys, quote unquote. And then the Predators teaming up with the humans.
Yeah, because they do that.
Yeah. Because why would a Predator care?
them.
How a human can't kill an alien, but a Predator can. Why would they care about the humans?
Exactly. I think the thing with that as well is that obviously it's all based on a sight gag, and it is a sight gag. It's not even an Easter egg; it's a sight gag in Predator 2, which is I kind of think it's the best one.
It's not as silly as the first one. It
The
takes
first
it a bit
one-
more seriously.
The first one's great, but it's an Arnie vehicle. That's it's an Arnie film, which is great, but you're never left in any doubt that Arnie's going to win. I will say, Shane Black, awesome.
Yes.
He's in it. He's awesome. I do like Jesse Ventura in that film. For as little as he's in it, he's fucking great. I love Jesse Ventura anyway, but he's great. You chew this, it'll make you a goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus.
Like me.
Just like me. It's brilliant. And I love Billy as well. And I like the fact that in real life, Billy had to have bodyguards. Not for him, but to stop him killing everybody else. He's one mental bastard. That guy in real life, he's proper fucking men. He has stood as a Republican candidate as well in the 80s, I think, as well. But he's mental. Everyone was scared shitless he was going to actually kill them. So you had to have people to watch him. But yeah, and obviously Arnie, and obviously Kevin Michael Hall, who was Kevin Peter Hall, should I say, who was the Predator. Originally Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
He had some weird ideas and was a bit of a dick, so they sacked him and redesigned the suit and things, and they changed how the character was. And
Kevin Peter Hall couldn't see a goddamn thing in that suit. And yet he had to memorise all his moves. So anytime he's running about or jumping, that's all from memory, because he ain't seeing shit in that suit. That's how good he was. But it's a great film, this Predator. Predator 2 slightly better. I do like it's a better storyline, I think, with the Yardies and the Heat in the City and Danny Glover being grossly outmatched. The thing about Arnie and the Predator is that although the Predator's hugely stronger than Arnie, there's still sort of, you can see Arnie taking him on and sort of holding his own for a bit. Danny Glover, fat overweight cop, no chance. So the fact that he kills one, that's kind of the point. The kind of why the Predators say, "Fuck you, mate. We're much respect. You killed one of us," which I love. I love that bit at the end where they all appear. And they're like, "Oh shit, son," and they just say, "Here, take this. Now fuck off." Take this pirate. It's a pirate musket or something, isn't it? They give him.
Yeah, it's something very random. I've not seen it Predator 2 in ages, but I remember it being the best one.
I think it's a musket, something like that. They give him a musket and basically get on your way, get out. And on obviously when he goes into the ship, there is a skull of an alien, but it's supposed to be a sight gag. But that's what led to the whole Alien versus Predator comics, which were quite cool. I quite like those. But yeah, you're quite right. I mean, the Alien versus Predator films, I think it's because you can't root for the aliens because they're just creatures, they're animals. But you also can't root for the humans because humans are a bit shit. Predators are badasses. So I think that's the thinking. That's why you want to sort of side with the Predators, because they're kind of cool. But it's just, they would take on everything. They just hunt everything. That's all they care about, is the Predator. So they just hunt everybody. That's you got the Alien versus Predator games as well, didn't you?
Yeah, they did some, they were like one-on-one Street Fighter kind of fighting games.
There was an atmospheric one as well.
There was, like
you could be
first-person shooter kind of thing.
Yeah, you could be the Predator or the Colonial Marines, and you had to hunt aliens. I don't think you could be aliens, could you?
No, I think there was a sequel where you could be the aliens.
Yeah, pointless. That's pointless to me, that is. Because they're supposed to be so inhuman, you can't possibly play as them. But you can play as a Predator, because Predators have logical thinking. Because they're supposed to be like way more technologically and advanced in every way than we are.
Yeah.
but they just don't give a shit about any of that and just want to hunt everything, which is pretty cool. But so that's the film. I mean, the games, I don't mind the games. The toys were great. They had an aborted cartoon series that never happened because that's what they did back then. You know, they had cartoons for Rambo and Chuck Norris and RoboCop and all these things that you shouldn't have cartoons about. Mm-hmm. One of them was supposed to be aliens. We're going on a bug hunt, etc. So it's like a G.I. Joe kind of thing.
Yep.
They did make loads of toys. They made the Colonial Marines, lots of them. Ashton did a video on them. They're actually pretty good toys.
Mm.
They look fun. And they did a whole range, and I definitely remember these, a whole range of alien toys, the Xenomorphs. So you had the Bull Alien, the Panther Alien, the Snake Alien, which was really cool, and loads of other ones. Did you ever own any of them?
I didn't, actually, even though I wanted them. But one of my friends was a big Alien fan as well. He's actually now a big Predator fan and owns a Predator suit and stuff and was building them and stuff for a while. But he had all the aliens because he's like the humans are rubbish, the aliens are the coolest ones, and I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with that actually. So he had all the aliens, so we'd all constantly have alien battles and stuff at his house. There was the Alien Queen, which had kind of a rubber bellows thing in its head you squeezed and it's the mouth shot out, the inner mouth.
Oh yeah.
And there was a bat alien that had claws with spring closed and a little switch on the back that made his wings flap. And there was, I think the bull alien had a extendable spring loaded neck, so you press a button and his neck would shoot out.
That's it.
And the spider alien kind of had a dangly string tail thing so you could lower him down. It was basically just a face hugger really with an alien's head.
Yeah.
That one. But yeah, it was, I just remember being really, really cool. And I think it was the gorilla alien, which was the actual traditional xenomorph alien.
Yeah.
And he had a little thing on his back, so his arms kind of smushed together, so you were giving gorilla hugs type thing.
That's it.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
That was it, and then he had the Panther alien as well.
Mm-hmm. There was quite a few actually.
Oh, there were loads, and they were all in sort of neon colours as well.
Mm.
They had a gorilla one that looked a bit like Optimus Primal.
Mm.
The same colours as Optimus Primal, basically, but it was Kenner, I think, who did those. And it was Kelly who did the early Beast Wars stuff as well, so there's probably some crossover there as well. But yeah, no, I mean, they were a good little toy line, and it's a shame that they never got a cartoon. I would have loved to see how kitsch and stupid that would have been. It would have been amazing.
Making a full-on, children's cartoon.
Oh, so weird. So weird. But kids like that sort of thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I remember watching Predator when I was about 11, 12 years old and thinking this is the best thing in the world. I remember being around my mate Andy's house who was talking about we did the Smorgasbord. I saw Aliens with him and a couple of other guys. That was the first time must have been about 11, 12 years old, something like that. It was amazing. Kids love that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I maybe wouldn't let them see Alien because that's quite affecting, but certainly Aliens. Let kids see that. Why not? It's just an action film.
Yeah, it's a bit more forgiving.
I think so. It's less horror and more squicky. The horror sort of elements in that are a bit squicky.
It's a straight up action movie.
Yeah.
The second one.
The best one. I think so. Anyway.
I personally believe that the first one is the best one, Alien.
That's because you're wrong.
It's the purest one though. They hadn't diluted the story with introducing too many elements. They hadn't ruined it by making the third and fourth movies. They weren't backtracking trying to make prequels to try and do it. They hadn't sold out to all the toy companies and the comic books and the crossovers with the Predators and Batman and all that stuff. Yeah, it was just kind of the pure entity that it was supposed to be.
We'll settle this with hashtag battle on the Back to the 80s. If you go on at BTTE pod, if you agree with me that it's Alien, hashtag Aliens. If you agree with Sam that as the first one was the best, hashtag Alien. And we'll see how many replies we get.
I found out an interesting trivia fact actually.
Go on.
I found it interesting. The fee that they had to pay Sigourney Weaver so she would come back and do Alien 3 was the same as it cost to make Alien.
She didn't really want to do it though, did she? That's the thing.
She wanted to do a third one if they would finish the story properly.
Yeah,
and she didn't believe they did.
No.
But she signed up for it because she kind of believed in the project. But because the script changed all the time, it wasn't really what she thought she was making. And then she did Alien Resurrection because, in her words, they just drove a massive dump truck full of money to her house.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you really going to say no to a shitload of money?
I wonder if she'll do another one. Probably not.
She doesn't want to do one, although apparently when... because Neil Blomkamp apparently had the idea for years for his Alien movie. And when he was making Chappie and she was working on it, he was kind of talking to her about it. And she sort of really got behind his vision and said if he does one, she'll come back. Oh,
cool. Because, I mean, it's like never say never because Jeff Goldblum's coming back for the second Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Which, I'm not going to lie, I went, eee!
I was like... Because he popped up in the new Guardians of the Galaxy, but he's not done an awful lot for a while. And I was just kind of like... No. Originally, I was just like, oh, so I guess he's doing movies again. Then I was like, wait a minute.
Ian Malcolm.
Jurassic World. This could be interesting. Life finds a way.
See, you stood on the shoulders of giants. Before you knew what you did, what you had, you put it on the lunchbox.
Are
there going to be any dinosaurs on this dinosaur tour? Hello? I hear that man.
Yeah, he's apparently he's really nice and just is how all his characters are.
Oh yeah,
that's how he talks, how he acts. He's kind of a weird hippie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you watch any interview he's ever done, that's what he is. And Jonathan Ross said it best as well. He's a good hand actor. He moves his hands in a certain way, and nobody. It's like Christopher Walken. He does something that nobody else does. Nobody is Jeff Goldblum. Nobody acts like. He's a bit weird. He's a bit odd, and he emphasises words in a different way than other people. He's great, and I think that's why people like him. And yeah, he's just had this bit of a renaissance because he did Independence Day 2, and now he's done Guardians, and he said that yes, he's definitely going to eat because he saw the Jurassic World and really loved Jurassic World and said, I could do this again. I would like to be part of this if possible. So they said, and apparently they've just jumped at the chance to have Ian Malcolm back because why wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, he's kind of a good way to tie it into the previous movies as well.
Yeah,
they did a bit in Jurassic World with the finding the original site of the Jurassic Park and things like that, but it wasn't. It was kind of its own thing.
Yeah,
taking place in an original location. So if they're going to have an original character back, he's a good one to get back.
Oh, absolutely, because I don't see why Alan Grant. The only other one I would get back maybe is Ellie.
She said she'd like to do one.
I'd love her to be in one. I like Laura Dern a lot. She's great and she's brilliant in Jurassic Park, the original. Dilophosaur's back as well.
Yes.
Apparently. Not Newman though.
No. Apparently the original T-Rex from Jurassic Park is going to be in it.
Yes. Not Stinky.
No.
Is it Stinky Land of the Lost? I think it is. Is that what they call him? Can't remember. The one from Land of the Lost, he's cool anyway. I do like that film. I'll tell you what film I saw. Just before we go on to the comments that we've had. 2 films I saw last week. One was brilliant and one was not. Angry Birds movie. It's really good.
Oh.
It's really, really, really funny. It's got Jason Sudeikis and Danny McBride and Josh Gad's in it. And it's far funnier than it needs to be. It shouldn't be funny. But they've taken an idea and it's not really about the game. They put elements of the game in it and it's very clever how it does it. But it's not the game. It's weird. Bill Hader's in it as well and Peter Dinklage is in it and he's one of the funniest things in it. It's really funny. I can't recommend it enough. Honestly, you sound unconvinced.
I hate Angry Birds.
I ignore that. I don't play it. I don't care about Angry Birds the game. Ignore that. It's just funny. It's just funny characters. It's got Josh Gad in it for fuck's sake, and Jason Sudeikis, who I love. But there's some really funny gags in it that you don't need to play the game to understand.
Cool.
Seriously, I'm telling you, watch it. It's funny. I am telling you. And it's quite rude as well. There's some
really rude bits. Might have to check it out. I'll wait for it to go on Netflix or something. I'll watch it.
Yeah, seriously. I thought it's going to be a load of crap. It's rubbish. It's not going to be great. But I thought I'll try it because there's nothing else on. I'll just give it a go. And within about 10 minutes, me and Nico were completely laughing our asses off. It's really, really funny. And it has no right to be at all. It should be this. I think it's because it's not a blatant cash-in. Because they should, if it was a blatant cash-in, it'd been made out 6 years ago. I think because it's quite old now, is Angry Birds. I think it's not cashing in as such as trying to make a decent movie, decent comedy movie with some Saturday Night Live people. There's loads of Saturday Night Live people in there. There's Maya Rudolph's in there, for God's sakes, and Kate McKinnon, she's in it as well.
Oh, excellent.
And Bill Hader, like I say, he's in it. Who else is in it? Sean Penn's in it. Yeah, it's weird. It's strange. It's really good. Anyway, the other film I saw was Star Trek Beyond. I can describe that in one word.
I quite like Star Trek Beyond. It's the most Star Trek-y of all the new Star Trek films.
You think so?
Yeah.
I thought it was dull.
I quite liked it.
Not keen. But then I like Into Darkness, and everybody else seems to hate that. I think there were some nice bits. I like the way that they handled Spock not being there anymore. As in Leonard Nimoy. I thought that was quite sweet. That was quite nice. I'm not a fan of somebody writing a script and inserting themselves in a much bigger part than they would have had otherwise. Simon Pegg, I'm looking at you.
I don't think... Well, I thought it was going to be a whole... So I used to like Simon Pegg, but he seems to have got a bit kind of too big for his britches recently. But I thought it was going to be this massive, like, self-indulgent wank fest of a movie. I mean, he's a supporting character in it. He's not, but it's not all about him.
No, but he's in it far more than Scotty would normally have been.
But James Doohan was in Star Trek 4 quite a lot. With that, he had a whole like side story about trying to get this transparent aluminium.
But that was because that's what it was. That's the whole film was about. All the characters having their own part. Computer.
Hello, computer.
I like the way that they worked that into the IT crowd that time. Denim. Hello, computer. Computer. But anyway, yeah, I wasn't a fan. Although I did laugh when Kirk said "skip to the end."
Yep.
I thought, definitely Peg. He definitely wrote that, and he definitely put that in there for anyone who likes Spaced.
I'm surprised that Spock didn't ask for a cornetto at some point.
Yeah. That would have been a step too far, I think. I say it wasn't the worst film I've ever seen in my life. I'm never going to say that, but it didn't hold my attention as much as Into Darkness did. And also, Cumberbatch. But there you go. No, it's okay. You're all right, thank you. And also, I have finally seen the trailer for the Last Night Transformers. Give it a miss.
It's not as bad as I thought it'd be. It's
not that. It's just I've seen it 4 times.
I kind of don't care about the Transformers movies anymore.
That's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the point is, the Fast and the Furious franchise, right? They're all ridiculous, but they get more ridiculous with each film, and that's kind of what holds my attention. I want to see what's going to happen next. Like the first one has been pointed out to me numerous times. It's about stealing DVD players, right? The latest one is Cars versus a nuclear submarine.
Yep.
And I kind of want that. Transformers films seem to be the same. They're not amping up. It's good. I know why. It's because Michael Bay is very safe. He's very conservative, and
he wants to do his military movies as well. He wants to make action movies, but the cars turn into robots. Yeah, that's all he wants to do.
Yeah.
I'd like to think when different directors come on, they'll bring different things to it.
They won't.
Well, like the Travis Knight Bumblebee prequel. I really like Travis Knight as a director and as like a story writer. Yeah. So I'm really hoping they can do something different with it.
Yeah. I think, what they need to do is they need to get the guys who direct Fast and Furious on them. I think that
actually.
Justin Lin.
Oh, he directed Star Trek Beyond.
Star Trek Beyond. So,
it looks like even like the film, the action scenes and the cinematography is really good. It looks amazing.
Yeah. And maybe that's what it needs. It needs a kick up the ass.
Mm.
Or it needs someone like Gareth Edwards to do it. Oh, speaking of which, even though I don't think he didn't direct Kong, I did see bits of Kong. Somebody put on Facebook loads of bits of Kong Skull Island on. You seen it yet?
Not yet, no. I do want to see it. It's out relatively soon.
It looks cool.
Like July, I think it's out.
I think the film, on DVD and Blu-ray. The bits I've seen, cool. They certainly knocked Jackson's King Kong out of the water because he was actually doing some fighting instead of ice skating.
He was actually in it.
He was in it, and he's actually fighting a monster instead of having a bit of a ice skate. Fucking shit film. I hate
T-Rex, and then that's all you see of him for an hour.
I hate that film. All you see his legs because it's focusing on Adrian Brody's big face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my word! What a boring film.
It's me. It's Brody face.
Oh, it's so dull. How can you make King Kong dull? I would rather watch Dean Emmerich's fucking Godzilla.
Ugh.
And that's a nuclear option. I hate that film. Anyway, back to Aliens. And I did ask on my Facebook anybody had any memories of it, and I got quite a few replies, actually.
Oh, excellent.
We'll start off with my mate Rue. Happy engagement, by the way, to your lovely lady. Thank you very much for sharing that with everybody, Rue. Known her a long time. She's my mate Andy's cousin. I've known her about 25 years. It's ridiculous. But anyway, Rue says, Vasquez, watching Aliens as a young teenager and seeing this representation of a woman that was that was as alien to popular culture as the alien was to the crew, blew my little mind. She was hard and funny and one of the boys, but still a woman. She was not in conflict about her femininity or perceived lack thereof. I wish there'd been more characters like her since. El riesgo siempre viva, man. Yes, well, we agreed with that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Said it's cool. Janice. Oh yeah, Vasquez is great. She's my favourite, one of my favourite characters. Her and what's his face, Billy Paxton's character. I love them. Janice Barry says Ripley. I still want to be Ripley. I think ladies like Ripley, don't they? Another of my friends, Helena Hancart. She says Ripley. Sigourney Weaver's performance and character stand out in a great cast. Back away from her, you bitch. It's still one of my favourite lines in the clash between two highly protected females. Equally awesome is that more than 3 decades ago, a woman was cast to play a character written first as a male, walked into the audition and blew the roof off. We're still waiting for another heroine like her. Mm-hmm. Also, she's who first gave me funny feelings in my lady parts. Yes, Sigourney Weaver made me queer. If you give her the honor, I'm sure she'll make you one too. She can't make me queer, because no.
No, she kind of reaffirmed my heterosexuality.
Not as Ripley, more as Dana, if I'm being honest. I do like Ripley, but not in that way.
No, Ripley's amazing. In Alien, Ripley is the best.
She'd rip your bollocks off, basically.
Oh, yeah, totally. She wouldn't take shit.
Oh, no, definitely not. Then we've got Tony Thrussell, who says Alien is one of my fave franchises ever. Seeing John Hurt chest explode with the chest burster is one of cinema's most classic scenes. Yes, it is, because it was parodied in Spaceballs.
Yep.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal.
It's been parodied in so many things. It's just one of those scenes that you see over and over and over again. My
favourite bit in that is where John Hurt says, "Oh, no. Not again."
Yeah, not again.
And at the end of it as well, check please. Awesome. But yeah, shocking, but also very, very, very parodied. But that's when you know you made it, isn't it?
Yep.
He says, Aliens is my favourite of all the aliens. Watching Ripley kick the shit out of the Queen's in him off in the power loader is just awesome. Get away from her, you bitch! Then we've got Brad Rhodes. Hello, Brad.
Hello,
he says
Brad.
that it's his birthday last week. Happy birthday. Also, this will come out way after his birthday, but we said it, so there you go. He says the relief after finishing Alien Isolation. The final next part is twice as stressful as an already stressful game, but atmosphere. I think that's sort of one of the watchwords of the whole Alien franchise, isn't it? Atmosphere.
Yeah, you have to get that atmosphere right, or it just doesn't feel correct.
Well, it's kind of Lovecraftian in that aspect, isn't it?
Mm.
You know, because it's like you said, the whole oppressive thing, which I think it first came around in The Black Hole, which was 77, 78, The Black Hole, the original one. Again, the Palomino.
To do a dark thing.
and it is fucking dark. We will do that one day. That gave me fucking nightmares. That bit where bloody what's-his-face ends up inside Maximilian in hell. I mean, what the fuck, Disney? But yeah, absolutely brilliant. But Atmosphere, definitely part of the Alien franchise. Absolutely.
Alien Isolation's a fantastic game as well.
I've seen people playing it online. I've not something I would ever play because I don't really play games, but I've seen people playing it. It's like, Jesus.
Well, if you watch a certain video by a certain someone, then someone may talk about said game.
I can't think who that might be. Scratch your chin, scratch your chin. We'll move on to Gerard Michael Galvin Barry. Hello, Gerard. He says, I remember watching them out of sequence. I saw Aliens first and then Alien because my mother decided they were suitable to watch with an adult present. That would be Janice, by the way. Which even now I believe is the most constructive approach to allowing a young audience members to view content above their age band. I think I would agree with that. I think I was 10 when I saw those films. We then rented Alien 3 from the local video shop and I was eager to see the next part of the story. Thank you, Gerard. Chris Evans, next, not that one. He says, I remember watching all 4 Alien films in my parents' bedroom on a small TV in the dark. It was 1997 and I was 10. It's a slightly different method of parenting. Awesome. And then Helena comes back and says, there is no Aliens 4. It stopped quite rightly at 3 after rumours spread that a dust script existed and Winona Ryder was attached. Don't you dare slag off Winona Ryder.
I like Winona Ryder. To watch Stranger Things, so good.
I still haven't seen that. I still need to see that.
We need to talk about it at some point on the show, because although it came out like last year, it's set in the 80s and it's very heavily influenced by 80s things, so I think it'll be a good one for us to talk about.
Well, there are there are a few things that we do need to talk about later on in the year. For instance, in August, September, we need to talk about It again, and then back in October we need to talk about Blade Runner, because Blade Runner 2049 is coming on my birthday. I've said I don't care anything else that happens on my birthday. We're going to the cinema. We're watching Blade Runner because I need to see Blade Runner. I love that film. Another Ridley Scott.
Yeah, classic.
Also, another one that they had no faith in. To be fair, at the time that was well family because it flopped like a bitch. But, I don't think it would flop now.
No.
I still like the fact that even to this day, Ridley Scott and Harrison Ford fall out over the fact whether Deckard's a replicant or not. Spoiler, he's totally a replicant. But I'm guessing this film might retcon that. And I'm guessing he isn't.
We'll see which version of Blade Runner is actually a sequel to.
The original voiceover one or the one that isn't a voiceover?
Well, there's been 5 cuts, hasn't there?
There's 2 that matter. You've got the original, the voiceover one, and then you've got the next one. I do like the fact that Olmos is coming back, though. That's cool. I love Edward James Olmos. He was the only thing that kept me watching Battlestar Galactica. True story. Anyway, Natalie Wheelhouse, who decided that she was going to write an essay. Cheers, Natalie. Thanks for that. Cheers for that. So that's one of my girlfriend's old students, so you can tell. She said, I must have been 9 or 10 when I saw my first Alien film, and it was Aliens. I remember liking Newt, a child character who was about my age at the time that I could actually identify with. She was written really well. I also loved Ripley and how much determination she had to kick ass. She puts other characters in their place and takes control in a situation where she's taught down to by people who have no idea what they're up against and still says, fuck this, does her damnedest to keep everyone alive. That's one of the things that I sort of identify with Alien, this overwhelming sense of inevitability. That's where, you know, Ripley is that she's the guy in the Body Snatchers who keeps telling everybody, look, I've seen this, I know what's going on, I know what's happening, and nobody believes him. It's like, oh, fuck you then. And you know, he's at a certain point where even Ripley goes, fuck you, whatever. And it's just this, I find that I get more anxiety off that than anything else, that sort of inevitability that you get off films like this. But anyway, so she said, Vasquez 2 has, as Rue said, even the alien queen herself in this one is so badass. That moment where Ripley and her share a moment of understanding when she points to the gun at the eggs like, these are your babies, this Newt, is mine, capiche? And the alien queen just lets her go, mother to mother. The Ripley goes, fuck that, anyway, and burns it away. Is awesome. I enjoyed 3 and 4, but I prefer if they didn't exist. I think 4 could have worked as a standalone film without Sigourney's sexy, weird Ripley clone, and just having the gang as main cast of characters surviving against an alien presence. Maybe not the alien, but hey. I'm still pissed off they killed Newt off in 3. It made everything 2 did all for nothing, so yeah, fuck that. Exactly what he said. She said, I still haven't finished the Isolation game, but Brucey the alien, I like to call him that, is an unforgiving asshole that's really hard to evade. But the atmosphere is perfect. It's like being immersed in the universe of the films to a perfect T.
Yeah, it is perfect. It is literally like you're playing in the films. It's amazing. And
which is what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, and the alien is hard as balls as well.
Which is, it should be. You know, sometimes these things, you know, they should be difficult. But there we go. And then we've got a guy called R.L. Burns. Never heard of him. Never heard of him. All right, Ralph.
Burns
and Turnburn.
Burning. Horace goes skiing?
Yeah, there's the Tatsmeister. Very, very missed off YouTube, by the way, Ralph. I wish you'd come back to YouTube and do videos again. Because I did like your ironing board reviews. Especially the ones where you do reviews of like tins of baked beans and stuff. You should totally do that again. We do miss it. But anyway, naturally, he says, our minds turn to Tat and of course the terrible 90s action figure range. How dare you? So it makes perfect sense for hyper horror extreme violence films to have kiddie toys, obviously. They were very silly. I'm sure there was a red angry one called the Bull Alien. There was.
Yes, he was.
I bet he was evil and killed people because he was red. Rag, aye. Yes, I'm sure he did. And he was very silly, and it was a very silly toy line, but I kind of like it. But there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get anything? Any comments from your side at all?
No, annoyingly.
I didn't only put it out today, so I'm surprised I got as many as I did. I got loads. So anybody who did reply on that, thank you very much.
Yes.
And next time, I don't know what we're talking about next time, but whatever we talk about, I shall try and endeavour to put something up for that. But yes, that is it. That is the Aliens franchise in a nutshell. If you haven't seen any of the films, definitely see them. Mileage may vary on the 3rd and 4th, but I think it's generally considered that whichever way you put it, 1 and 2 are pretty good films. It's just that I get kind of depressed with the shit that goes with it. If it was just the films, I'd be alright. But there's so much shit that goes with it as well that's like unnecessary fluff.
Yeah.
But then again, it has influenced so much stuff, including things I love like Warhammer. The Gene Stealers are directly ripped from the Aliens.
Yeah.
Things like that. And, you know, and even things in the Turtles, the big yellow aliens that went with on the pizzas that got irradiated and turned into massive monsters, again, directly influenced by the Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And even things like Star Wars has been influenced by aliens. If you look at some of the fluff, some of the books and stuff, you do get xenomorphy type aliens. So,
yeah, it's incredibly influential in like so much like pop culture.
Well, I mean, even things like T2, you can see sort of bits of aliens that Cameron had basically tried out bits of T2 because he was already working out T2 by that point. You can definitely see bits of action sequences that he was working out that are very similar in the 2. Very, very cool. Very cool. Anyway, Sam.
Yes.
If one was to want to try and find you on the old wide world of the interwebs,
best place would be my Twitter, which is at Sam_Palmer_37. I'm always on Twitter. I'm always chatting on there, so that's the best place to get in touch with me.
It really is.
Yeah, it really is. Just, I'm on there all the time. There is Facebook, which is facebook.com/SamPalmerColours, COLOURS, because I spell things correctly. There is my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/XHardcoreGamerX, as one word. As I have said previously in this video, I have just put out a video about Alien games. Which is one of my favourite videos I've made so far, and I put a lot of work into it. And there's stuff with like green screening when I'm on like the ship on board the Nostromo, and there's my friend Tracy's in there as cosplaying as Ripley, and there's all kinds of things going on with it. And it was really fun to make, so I kind of want people to check it out and enjoy it because it was good fun to make. Yeah, so that's the best places to get in touch with me. What about you?
Well, first off, that's what we call synergy by the way. Synergy. We're bringing out this and the video at roughly the same time. Synergy. Synergy, Lemon. You can find me at Facebook. You can put in Glenn Jakeman. That's GLENN JAKEMAN, and you will find me. If you do want to add me, and I don't know you, please do send a message. Otherwise, I'm not going to add you. It's as simple as that. Can't say fairer. You can also find me on Twitter at Cymru Nerd Cave and YouTube as well, Cymru Nerd Cave. I'm putting videos on there on a regular basis now, and I bought something from Poundland today that I'm going to be. I don't normally review Poundland stuff because there's already somebody on the interwebs that sort of has that. But I saw these things the other day, and I've got to. I bought them, and I'll tell Sam in a minute. But yeah, you'll see. I had to buy these things. They're proper in my wheelhouse. But anyway. So yes, you can find me there as well. You can find us on the official Back to the 80s Twitter, which is at BTTE Pod. You can find us Back to the 80s on Facebook, which is facebook.com BTET Pod as well. Also on the Back to the 80s blog, which is backtotheatiespodcast.blogspot.co.uk, and backtotheatties.freeforums.net is the forum.
Backtotheatties.freeforums.net.
That would be backtotheatties.freeforums.net. We should be back next week with something. In the next month, just to let you know, we have Jenny will be back with us to talk about defunct supermarket chains. Which is going to be fun, because she's got lots of ideas. She's been having a whale of a time researching that, apparently. And we've also got Matty Franklin from the Choose Your Own Adventure podcast, or Reuse Your Own Adventure podcast, should I say, going to be coming to us talking about choosable path books.
Sweet, that'll be good fun.
Choose Your Own Adventures, Value Fantasy, all the stuff that they do on their podcast as well, which is brilliant. And we're all going to trying to get in the next couple of months a Smorgasbord guys on as well to talk about various stuffs, because that's what we do. Brilliant stuff. We shall leave you this week with, I was thinking desperately of music we could put on, because there's no real music associated with the aliens, and then I thought, going to put the Space Hulk music on there, because that basically is aliens. Space Hulk.
Totally.
So yeah, it's also freaky and creepy and amazing. So yeah, we'll leave you with that this week, and also a public information film about something. I'm going to start putting the G.I. Joe ones up, because there's loads of them I found somewhere which has them all. So we're going to be doing those in the next sort of couple of months as well. But until next time, thank you again for listening. We do appreciate it. Every single listener that we have everywhere around the world, thank you for listening. Let's hope we're still here in the 6 months to be still listening to it. Looking at you, Mr. Tangerine. Say bye-bye, Sam.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Is your mom there?
No, I'm home alone.
Well, you won a prize. What's your address?
42 Oak Street. Hey, Roblox, some stranger's bringing me a prize.
A stranger, huh? All he wanted to bring you was trouble. Remember, never tell anyone you're home alone, and never give anyone your address.
I'll say Mom can't come to the phone.
Smart thinking.
Now I know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!